Hello, beautiful people.
What's going on?
I love that. It's a wonderful Monday morning.
Energy Monday.
And the energy is, up. Abby's already feeling the energy.
Off the
Madison
roof.
as well.
Off the roof.
And it just shows that we're off to a good start because we have a
Yup.
lot to talk about here. Welcome to Fuse Unbothered, brought to you by Upfront and Personal. Hey, I love that. Okay, so we're going to be talking today about a song ownership dispute that's happening between Beretiga and comedian Carter Efe.
Yep.
We're also going to be talking about what the police PRO said about if a police raise their hand, to slap you, what you should do and what you can and cannot do. Exactly. And then we have an unfortunate story where we're talking about someone who unfortunately lost her life while trying to accost a cheating partner. We'll get into all of these stories when we get back from the break. Don't move a muscle.
I used to care for the world's opinion. I used to fear their rejection. I used to beg for validation. And I used to wait to be seen. But the fire that burned in me was hotter. And the passion that lived in me had a voice of its own. So I stopped waiting and started to act. I stopped fearing and started to live. And when they thought I'd fail, I stepped into my power.
Because my time is now.
Amstel Malta, be your best.
Fuse Unbothered.
It's funny how everybody now wants to get into the music industry, regardless of whatever field you
Except
are
Misha.
in. Except you, right?
Because there's money.
Because it's now obvious that there's so much money aside from performance just by people listening to your song or streaming your song.
Sites, yeah.
Comedians are now going into the music industry, are now dropping songs. I mean, if it started far back as the early 2000s with Julius Agu switching into music comedy, then we
love
had
that song.
We also had
Sunita. I remember Sunita.
basketball.
before basketball, we even had Clint the Drunk with Mr. Raw. That Obodolero. You remember? And now basketball has given us albums back to back that has been nominated for different award categories. And also going on, we are seeing now that comic skit makers are now in the music industry. We had a hit track from Carter Efe and Beretiga, I beg your pardon. Hit song Machala. Whiskey did not involve himself, even if people were tagging Machala himself. And there's been a dispute that has been going on for a couple of days right now that I feel like I'm still standing on the fence because I don't know which side to take. Beretiga, the artist whose voice we really heard on the song, claims that Carter Efe has been doing a lot of injustice, or it's not
regarding the ownership of the song.
It's not being fair with splitting of the profits made from the song. And in his own statement, this is what he said: "You offered me 95 to 5% of the song I sang from the beginning to the end. How is that possible? Isn't that greed?" So he's accusing Carter Efe of greed because he goes for shows alone. He makes videos without tagging him, and he said they had a conversation, and Carter Efe says he is not grateful. That's Beretiga is not grateful. Now this went on for like a couple of days, like 2 days, and let's imagine that Carter Efe was trying to act like the Machala and be quiet. But he said, ritual, do. So Carter Efe literally came out later on the live video to express his bitterness and anger, his frustration and his disappointment. Oh, see all those words. They're supposed to be giving
Please,
me.
dear.
See, Martel on eh? See, anybody, see. Ah, God. Now why people know the help people with this? Now why people know my head good thing. Wait, bro, I need to talk. See, I'm a young boy that is trying to make it in life. And one person come say he wants to spoil my name. You come, because I help you finish. You come back. You dey tell me to say, hey, kata, mo do one thing, and mo do like say we dey fight. So I go feel blow. Now you carry my name, they spoil, they give everybody, they spoil. I thought say I won't behave like whiskey though, but now I say make I reply everybody. Make I reply everybody. I don't want to go like based on say my live video is not working for more than 3 days now. For more than 3 days now. I do everything finish with my good art. You carry out. Told me to bad person. They go to tell people don't say that you get mashallah. You say you tell people say that you get mashallah. You tell people say that you sing up. I agree for you say that you sing mashallah 100%. You tell people say that you get mashallah, now you get the song. Say based on say Kata don't blow. Now you can't call her. You call me. You know anything about mashallah before? I call you around 12 o'clock. Come play song for my house. Come do. Even producer they tell me say Kata no sing, no spoiler, you not get voice. I say no, you take berry.
He was really ranting, crying, shouting on Instagram Live that he did a lot for this guy.
That he
wrote this song. He said he wrote this song.
I don't think Katerefe wrote that song.
You don't think?
I don't think
it's really hard for us to believe whether he wrote it.
But here's the thing, because the same guy Beretiga is saying he wrote the song.
Exactly. Who
actually wrote the song?
Now, so I mean, according to what Katerefe is letting us know, he's making us understand that this dispute started off as a planned work for PR. That Beretiga told him that let's do it like this. Let's try and form a misunderstanding online.
Wow.
So I can, as an artist, pop and drop a new song. But Katerefe now said that the manner in which he took it was different, because people are now taking it too far. That I'm on 95% to 5%. I didn't do all that. People don't know what we signed, and he was trying to express all this. Then Black Bones out of the blues just came in.
Yeah.
And Black Bones dropped a tweet, literally taking side with Beretiga.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to go into more detail because it's going to take a long stretch. But what we know right now is that Portable has also dropped a diss track.
For who now?
For Katerefe, saying that don't let them rip you to give you just 5.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I saw that.
And right now, for me, I'm not even going to lie, it's still looking like a PR stunt. But it's not favoring Katerefe at this point.
Yeah,
anymore.
But let's also not forget that even the Portable himself that you mentioned has also had a song ownership disputes not so long ago.
With Pokoli.
So he understands this thing. Yeah. But this is what I feel. I feel like the 95 to 5% is not realistic.
It's not real.
It's not real. I don't think it actually happened, and that's what Katerefe was trying to say to Black Bones. There's no such thing as 95 to 5% because it's very unrealistic. So I'm sure they must have signed something that was favorable for both of them. Both parties.
Which is my question, though. I don't understand why we see musicians, people in the same industry, come out to have rifts over collaboration disputes and all of that, because there should be a signed agreement. There should also be someone to stand like, okay, I am here to witness both of you, because this one come out to say like he said he was one who wrote the song. I mean,
Katerefe said he wrote the song.
Beretiga also said he wrote the song, and he sang it from the beginning to the end.
Exactly.
Multina, share happiness.
Fuse Unpotted.
But what I think Katerefe was the one who put the song together, and because he was talking about how he needed to drop one hot kid who's also who was also supposed to be featured on the song.
Yeah, he had the bass already.
Yes,
I kind of don't believe Katerefe wrote that song, because I don't know, maybe because the comedian. I'm like,
no, I don't.
I don't actually sit down.
Maybe he came up with a verse. But I don't think he wrote that song.
Black Bones coming to this twist was very shady, because he said I cannot go against the comedy. He mentioned a lot of stuff that I don't want to. But oh my goodness! Then he now ended it all after Katerefe went on live. He just put an umbrella with rain. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Yeah,
I feel like Katerefe
and Black Bones have issues already. Because they were talking about hate. Hate is such a strong word. And Black Bones was like, he
owned it to his chest.
I know you hate me, and he said, yes, I do. What's going on? You make your money from being naked as a comedian. So they obviously don't like themselves. That's what I see.
But what do you think? Who do you think is actually on the right side?
I feel like Katerefe knows what he's saying. I don't think he actually offered the artist who sang the song 5%, because I think that's ridiculous. And we've not heard much from Beretiga himself as regarding this whole thing. People are now shading Katerefe. I feel like they should come sit down together and actually talk about this, and if there's truly a problem, they should solve it, and move on. But I feel like there's an actual problem. I mean, at a point the song was taken off streaming platforms,
before,
and we don't know exactly why. So I mean, let them work their issues out.
And Wizkid has no business with this.
Wizkid has said nothing from the time the song dropped, even as the disputes are going on. So I mean, this is
guys.
strange.
All right, so moving on, I just want to put a question to you and AB, right? So what would you do if you get slapped by a policeman? Like, what would be your first reaction? Honestly speaking, like, you get slapped on the spot by a police officer.
The funny thing is, you would do nothing. Actually, that for me, I would
what would you do?
Really?
Because it's not like this has not happened to me already.
Wow.
Yes. Do you get
so you've been assaulted by a police officer?
Oh. So I'll tell you what,
I think a lot of guys have experienced it.
Every young, okay, yeah.
Please talk about that.
I used to care for the world's opinion. I used to fear their rejection. I used to beg for validation. And I used to wait to be seen. But the fire that burned in me was hotter. And the passion that lived in me had a voice of its own. So I stopped waiting and started to act. I stopped fearing and started to live. And when they thought I'd fail, I stepped into my power.
Because my time is now.
Amstel Malta, be your best.
Maltina, share happiness.
Views Unpotted.
Okay, so before we went on the break, I was asking AB and Gabby what would be their initial reaction if they get slapped by a police officer, right?
AB said he has.
So every young man between the ages of 20 to like 29 has actually let me just say 70% of people within that age grade as men in Lagos here or Nigeria here would probably have had an unpleasant experience with police officers, regardless of whatever units they belong to. Wow. So when I'm saying that you literally almost do nothing, there will be adrenaline pumping and you'll be angry and all that, but you look at the worst case scenario and you probably might do nothing. So if it's me, I probably will just cry and run away.
Okay. So far, Gabby, I'm saying this because there was a viral video of a policeman who was bundled by two hefty men. So actually, they were actually at a spot. The policeman stopped them, searched them and all that, but they weren't having it. So they stopped, and rather than just listen to what the policeman had to say,
don't forget that it had to do with phones. They've been instructed not to be searching people's phones.
They didn't want their phone to be searched. And bear in mind that this policeman had a loaded rifle, right? So he was in a position to have even shot them if he wanted to. So they bundled this guy.
Yes, give me my phone. You know what we are? You know who we are? You know who we are? What the phone?
And the PRO Lagos State came out to talk about how you shouldn't retaliate when you get slapped or get humiliated by a police officer. People were not having it on social media saying that you don't have a right to violate a civilian like that because at the end of the day, yes, you might not have the right to, you might not have the the power to vindicate these people, but the initial reaction shouldn't be. These people have been locked up. They've been locked up in prison right now. So the PRO came out to talk about how so you're actually clamoring that the men were wrong and all that. So now that they've been locked up, can you actually come out?
So I saw a lawyer actually reply that tweet saying that when the case gets to court, it would be seen as assault and defense in terms that the civilian was assaulted first, then actually had to defend him or herself. So he probably is what the lawyer was trying to say that what this statement that this PRO is making is not in entirety true. It's not, because not it's not.
But there are two things to this story for me. The first thing is the PPRO obviously said that, if you disrespect a police officer who's on uniforms, you're disrespecting the entire country. That's what it means, and that makes sense. But also, let's look at it from this standpoint. We've seen in the past where police officers have assaulted people. It was nice to see some people stand up to them, to be honest. I was watching that video and I felt good. I was like, okay, so maybe if this was a younger guy who couldn't do much, maybe they'll be able to get away with the assault. Or maybe if this was a lady, they'll be able to get away with the assault, which we've seen happen many times. So to see hefty guys, who are not scared of your guns, telling you, do you know who I am? For me, that gave me goosebumps. I was happy to see some people stand up.
So I feel like,
I was like, this is good, So it's two things. In as much as that is the case, the PPR was basically advising people, if you're ever in a situation like this, all you need to do, you don't want your phone to be searched, learn how to report to the appropriate authorities, to not put yourself in that situation where now the policeman has to now fire.
So at the same time, in this case, who do you think was wrong, the police officer or the two guys?
Both parties.
Both of them were wrong.
Both parties.
Yes. So the police was wrong for assaulting them.
There are more diplomatic ways of handling this kind of issues.
Because at the end of the day, now you've been told as police officers you're not supposed to search people's phones.
But let's not forget why in Nigeria people are frustrated. So stopping someone to say, okay, let me search you. It's I mean. Anyway, guys, that's what I take today on Fuse One. But don't forget to join the conversation. Follow us on YouTube at Fuse One, on Instagram at Fuse_local. You can find me on all social media platforms at _Medici.
You find me on Instagram at Gabby.Gabby. Do well to follow.
Please, guys, you can find me on Instagram and all other social media platforms at AB_AKYNZ. That's so much we can take, guys, from all of us here in the studio.
Stay fused.
Have a lovely week.
Upfront and personal, world-class business, world-class consultants.